I actually had a Ghanaian flag in my in my office. From the second that Golda Meir as foreign minister, 1958, began a 5-nation tour of Africa, there's been this like on again, a little bit off again, and now on again love affair between Israel and Africa and the Jewish people in Africa. I've gotten to know Africa through the lens of investing in solar energy fields, but also in the case of Ghana through my daughter, who will hopefully be joining in and telling us about her experience volunteering in a school for runaway child slaves. Israel has the potential to be a superpower of goodness in Africa through our industries of goodness and our NGOs. But think about it, water, energy, agriculture, medical. This show, Shine On Africa, it's not a place for politics, and we ask you to respect that. Our goal here is friendship, and to use that friendship to lift up human dignity. We're in a very imperfect world at a precarious time, and we're all citizens of very imperfect countries, but let's work together to make the world a better place, especially for the most vulnerable of people, and especially at this most vulnerable time in history. This is the first Her Excellency show. Hopefully there'll be many more, because we've been blessed not only with one, but two, given that assuming we can solve all the technical issues, two female ambassadors representing their countries, Israel and in Ghana, which is such a treat. I'm sorry, it's the exception and not the rule. And we have the most packed show that we've ever scheduled, because there's so many connections between Israel, the Jewish people, and Ghana. And we also, I see Her Excellency now a little bit. In addition to Ambassador Hannah, welcome. We also have some government officials. Welcome, welcome. Lower your camera just a little bit so we can see you even more clearly. We also have some investment officials. We have some great NGO projects. And so we hope to be able to fit everybody in. There's gonna be 2 videos as well, which is our tradition. And if there's any time left, we'll Gabi Ashkenazi, thank you for being patient. We'll try to slip you in. Before we get a chance to introduce both excellencies, we do want to say hello to our partners. So Janet and Alon, want to do a quick intro?
Sure. So Yossi, thanks. Despite the last few weeks of being in quarantine, I'm back here, and I am still Janet Bahima from Herzog Fox Ne'eman. For all of our returning friends, we're still the largest law firm in Israel. I still run international corporate transactions and impact investment. And welcome back to Shine On Africa and Destination Africa. And when we say Next Stop Ghana, one of the things we'll hear about Ghana's significance today, I want to give a little inspiration. When Ghana gained its independence in 1957, and Yossi, of course, you just mentioned Golda Meir's trip right after that. Its nationalist and Pan-African leader, Nkrumah, said, "Our independence is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent." And within the next decade, more than 30 other African countries followed Ghana's example and declared their own independence. Just wanted to throw in a little bit of significance beyond the borders. And as Yossi said, you know, when ambassadors to and from a country are men, no one notices. And when one's a woman, some might think, oh, but when both are women, like Ambassador Hannah Inyako and Ambassador Shani Cooper, it becomes really a topic of interest. So today, we will have a natural emphasis on women, given our honored guests. Remember, we're also live on Facebook. You're all being kept on mute. Keep using the chat box if you have any questions. Given our really packed lineup, and since we always run out of time, we may run out of time for your questions again, but contact us. I'll put my email up, and we'll always try to follow up for you. Alon.
Yeah, so quite shortly, as we need to keep the flow for the our ladies ambassadors, which is more important during this today show. So first of all, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Yossi. Thank you, Janet. We are, as I always say, believe that making a change in low and medium income countries is a mission of the civil society, the government, and the private sector together. And as an umbrella organization, we are happy that among our members, we have members who are coming from all of those sectors. And we want to consider those shows, those webinars, as an opening point to more and more discussions between Israelis and potential partners in Ghana in this case, that at the end of the day will lead for practical cooperation on the ground. This is our goal, not only to discuss about the potential, but also to try and implement activities and projects on the ground. So with the permission of both of the ambassadors that are with us today, we would like to consider it as a starting point, and we would like to follow up based on the interest that will come and raise during this discussion. So Yossi, the floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Ambassador Nyarko, thank you very much for being our special guest. I'm going to say all protocol observed, so I can call you Ambassador Hannah, and I hope it's okay. I do that with the male ambassadors too, so I don't want to. It is a great honor to be able to host you. I've only met you one or two events over these years, and I've been to Accra, but. You are the ambassador to the State of Israel. You're the ambassador to Cyprus. You've been the head of mission in Belgium and to the European Union, and you've served your country with dignity in half a dozen posts, including in Washington, D.C. We really just want to hear from you at this point. Tell us what it's been like being the ambassador of Ghana to Israel.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you, Yossi, and your team for this very brilliant opportunity and a platform to share Ghana with our audience. Yes, I'm being the ambassador of Ghana to Israel since January 2018. So I'm in my third year now. And it's been an experience, an amazing voyage, and full of experiences. Getting to know the Israeli people personally, getting to know the country, where I am still in the process of getting to know the country more and more. And of course, learning more about Israel as a startup nation, as an agricultural nation. And it's been a very exciting journey. Yes, you had mentioned earlier that I had served in Belgium. I was the deputy ambassador at our embassy in Belgium, not the ambassador. So this is the first time being here in Israel is the first time of being an ambassador. And thank you again for this opportunity. Today is a very significant day for Ghana. 4th August, I beg your pardon, is what we call Founders Day. And it celebrates and honors our founding fathers, especially a group of men we call the Big Six, who are recognized as the major movers of the fight for our independence. And so we honor them, we remember them on the day. And I think having this virtual meeting is a tribute to them, because we of the new generation have to do much more than they did. But we know that they had a very good, wide vision of what they wanted Ghana to become. And I would say that we haven't reached there yet. We are still on the journey. And so it's for us, the current generation, to pick up where they left off and make our country a much better place than we have come to meet it. And so thank you again. I'm also the High Commissioner to the Republic of Cyprus since 7th May 2019. And so my representational duties representing Ghana in Israel and also in Cyprus. And one of my major responsibilities is to ensure that the bilateral relations between Ghana and the State of Israel, as well as Ghana and the Republic of Cyprus, remain not just cordial, but are strengthened every year, and to explore avenues of expanding the cooperation that our countries share. Ghana shares with these two countries. And I cannot do it alone, so my staff, the staff I have here in Israel, work with me, and we have been fortunate to enjoy the cooperation of Israelis from various sectors of the Israeli public. And we are appreciative of that. And of course, my counterpart in Ghana, Ambassador Shani Ufazubida, is also a very cherished partner. She's doing great in Ghana, and both the two of us have the objective of strengthening the relations between our two countries.
Wonderful, thank you. Before you tell us a little bit about Ghana, because this may be the first opportunity for people to really explore, and we will see a video. Give us one highlight experience of your last 3 years here. Maybe it's with the 3 kids, maybe it's a spiritual experience, maybe it's seeing some kind of invention or seeing Ghanaian students studying here. Like, give us just a little window into your world.
So first and foremost, I'm a Christian, and so being in Israel is the must-have experience, so to speak, for a lot of Christians. And so, as we say, walking in the footsteps of Jesus, and seeing all the biblical places, it's a real honor and an experience that I wish everyone can have. Secondly, in the area of agriculture, we have very strong relations, and one of the highlights has been a group of Ghanaian students, agricultural students, who come to Israel for 11-month work-study program with agro-studies. We had the first batch coming in 2018. They left in 2019. There were 50 in all. Now we have a second batch of 71 students. And we hope that the numbers will increase as the years go by. And it's a very exciting project for us because, as you may know, Ghana is predominantly agricultural. And we want these students to revolutionize agriculture in Ghana and to contribute to government's long-term objective of making Ghana self-sufficient in food and the cash crops, increase our exports and all that. So it's a very exciting time for me here to see these students and to hear from them their own experiences of what they are going to take away back to Ghana from Israel.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love the way how you also relate to history, both in terms of Founders Day and the Big Six, and then the Via Dolorosa, right? You can see it in your eyes that history flows through you, and you appreciate the opportunity. And thank you for honoring us on your Founders Day as well. Tell us just a little bit about Ghana before we turn to Ambassador Shani Cooper.
Okay, perhaps more importantly, we attained independence on 6 March 1957. We were a British colony. And so, as I had mentioned earlier, the Big Six were one of the primary movers towards our independence. And our relations with Israel date back into 1958. A year after our independence, when we established formal diplomatic relations. But prior to that, the state of Israel, as you know, had already gained independence. So Israel had a consulate in Ghana before we attained independence. So our bilateral relations go many, many years back. And for some years of global developments with regard to the Six-Day War and events in the Middle East, Ghana, as a member of the OAU, cut relations with Israel. But I'm happy to say that we came back, and it's full steam ahead, so to speak. We are looking at building our relations and taking them to even a higher level.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Well, one day we hope to regain our observer status with the.
Definitely, it's something we all look forward to. Yes,
we'll see. But we definitely see you as a friend, and I felt very much at home when I was there. Let's just bring on Ambassador Shani Cooper just for a couple minutes as well. Welcome, Ambassador. It was a great honor to have you join your sister here on Founders Day. maybe just say a little bit about yourself and what you see as really the future opportunities to be able to grow the relationship with your counterpart, Ambassador Hannah. Annie?
Thank you very much, Yosef. And, I really appreciate this initiative, and I would like to also say thank you for Seed Israel and to Herzog Fuchs Ne'eman for this organization, and shalom to Ambassador Nyarko. I really miss you and Israel. I'm sure that a lot of people sitting on the other side of the screen are envy or jealous at me sitting here in Ghana, especially in the best season in Ghana, when the wind is cool and clean, and so we really enjoy it. And we just came back from a lovely 3 days trip to the Volta region, so I can say that yes, you can be jealous, definitely.
The Volta's up north, right?
No, it's in the eastern part of southeast, almost, yes, of Ghana.
I have to come. So, Ambassador Cooper, tell us a bit about where you hope to take the relations. And you have investors, you have NGOs, you have companies here. Give us, before we hear from the investment professionals from Accra, what do you see as priority projects?
Okay, so the relations are very, very let's say that all the doors are open in the relations between Ghana and Israel, and until this day, I cannot hide my wonder when I see normal people going with the Israeli flags in the streets or driving around and on their car, something like "Long live Israel" and slogans like this. That means that there is a lot of potentials in the relations. Us in the embassy, we are taking the governmental needs of Ghana and their priorities and linking them into our capabilities, the Israeli capabilities, and we built a program of cooperation that will support the Ghana Beyond Aid initiative of the government. We are supporting Ghana in 3 main sectors. The first one, of course, is agriculture, as Ambassador Nyarko mentioned. We have a lot to give. There are not enough Israeli companies working here, and we would like very much to see more Israeli companies coming and working in agriculture here in Ghana. And but it's not only companies. We are also doing a lot of development works together with Mashav that was born out of a meeting of President Nkrumah with Foreign Minister Golda Meir. Mashav is still operating here, although it's very, very difficult to do it online in Corona times, but still, the project that we have with Agro Studies is going on, and we have a lot of online cooperation, and hopefully we will have, we will take the Mashav alumni and get them to train the people here. If we can bring Israelis, we can bring the second best thing, people that were trained by Israelis. So this is the first sector. The second sector is innovation. The government is involved to create more job opportunities. And if you go into the innovation and entrepreneurship field, you can take the people and allow them to create themselves their own positions and jobs. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to, first of all, assist the government in creating a policy of innovation, and I can see here several partners to this initiative of Israel. And secondly, we would like to see a real attachment, a real hookup between Israeli startups and Ghanaian startups. And hopefully, if someone is interested, I would like to initiate the first Israeli-Ghanaian accelerator here in Ghana. So if someone is interested, in a minute I will write my email address, and hopefully we will be able to do it.
Beautiful vision.
The sector is homeland security and cyber security within that. Israel is very strong in these things, and Ghana is very interested to hear what we have to say. We share our knowledge and our information. I must say that in the Corona time, the third, this sector took a step back, and the health sector came into the picture. And I can see also some of our partners working on health in Ghana and doing a great job. So this is what we're trying to do. Of course, I can talk about it for days and days, but I will stop here, and I will say that if anyone needs more information or would like to check the opportunities, we do have a trade and economic mission in the embassy that can make the connections, and we are working with every organization or company who would like to initiate a business or a project here in Ghana. We will take them hand by hand and work with them all the way.
Amazing volunteering to run the accelerator and other things. We'll get to that. Let's just thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you for your patience. Open in terms of contact info and your questions and what you're ready to step up with. Maria? All right. So here we go. Okay, people put your...
Located at the center of the world, Ghana is the best investment destination in West Africa and ranks as West Africa's first in the Ease of Doing Business Report 2019. It was projected as one of the fastest growing economies in the world, with a growth rate of 6.8% in 2019, and has been declared as Africa's new bright spot after being ranked 4th in the world and 1st in Africa in the 2019 Global Retail Development Index. As the host of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Ghana is creating the linkages that will make it the gateway to Africa, aided by dynamic policies, a stable political environment, and strong economic fundamentals. It is a land of opportunities, offering businesses across many sectors the potential to flourish. The country is open and accessible to investors and the private sector, providing a peaceful environment and upholding the rule of law. The government of Ghana is confident and optimistic about the positive results in its investment drive through the GIPC. Ghana has 8 million hectares of arable land, well irrigated by a wide network of water bodies, making it a region ready for large-scale mechanized agriculture. The government and major policy planners recognize that expanding the agro-industrial base is the best path to develop. Ghana has put in place the right legal and regulatory framework to increase foreign direct investment. The Industrial Zones Program allows manufacturers and agro-processors to take advantage of favorable tax and duty incentives to produce for exports from Ghana into the EU and US markets. A rich cultural history and wonderful natural beauty makes Ghana a great tourist destination. The Year of Return Tourism and Marketing campaign in 2019 positioned Ghana as a key travel and investment destination for African Americans and people of the global diaspora. The year recorded significant increases in the number of visitors to Ghana.
Wow, so strong video, huh? You can feel the momentum. We know Corona. I was happy to see a picture of President Nana there. I met him at the ECOWAS summit in Monrovia.
Monrovia.
And I have to say I was very impressed. And as an investor, I did not know that some of the things that we just saw on the video. We had tried making a $100 million investment under the previous administration, and we were turned down. But maybe we'll reconsider and help us make that reconsiderations for solar power. I hope that Eugenia Okiere, the principal promoter for investment in the investment center, are you here, and can we hear you and see you? Tell us.
Good afternoon from Accra. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you, Madam, and the organizers for the opportunity to project Ghana once again, promote our opportunities abounding in our economy. My name is Eugenia, and I'm with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, mostly working in the Research and Business Development Division. My presentation would mainly touch on the opportunities for investing in Ghana, but permit me to put my video off. My connection is not too good, so I will go off so I can be heard clearer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You have about 3 minutes because we have someone from the Office of the President also who's going to speak. Yes, Eugenia.
Yes. So, 1 second, please.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Eugenia.
Almost. So I'll speak just since there's somebody from the Office of the President, I'll skip a few of my presentation and move straight to what the GIPC does and some few pointers to note if you want to set up in the Ghanaian economy. So the GIPC is responsible for promoting and coordinating investment in the economy. What we do is provide investment advisory services, joint venture facilitation, registration of technology transfer agreements, identifying specific projects for investment promotion, as well as granting investment incentives and exemptions to investors. We work closely with a lot of key institutions and regulatory bodies to facilitate your investment, including the Bank of Ghana, where you have to send in your minimum equity to be confirmed as your investment, registrar generals to incorporate your business, immigration if you're bringing in expatriates to assist with your operations, the Ghana Revenue Authority, where you have to, if you are importing or you're bringing in machinery and it has to be used as equity, the GRA is very key in that. We also work with the ministries and agencies and the regulatory bodies to help you set up.
Great. Can you put your contact information in
I will
the
do
chat?
that.
Because I think a lot of people want to follow up. What is the minimum equity investment to begin working in Ghana?
Okay, so if you're coming in as a JV, a joint venture, and the minimum Ghanaian partnership percentage is 10%, and the minimum equity for that is $200,000. You are allowed to set up as a wholly foreign entity, and for that, the minimum is $500,000. As a trading entity, you're also required to employ at least 20 skilled Ghanaians, and the minimum equity for that is $1 million. But there are exemptions for other sectors, manufacturing and export trade, where the government is very key in looking at expanding our manufacturing sector. There's also exemption for people who are spouses of Ghanaian citizens, and those who also have dual nationality.
Okay, so I can just tell you that probably half the companies here wouldn't put up that kind of equity. So maybe we can come up with some kind of bilateral, because it's a lot of money to risk, particularly if you're a startup. So maybe the two ambassadors afterwards can figure something out. We do have from the Office of the President in the Ministry of Business Development, Mr. Kojo.
So if I may, let me complete with the investment opportunities available, and then the Office of the President speaker can go on.
Okay.
Yes. So there are opportunities in various sectors, the energy, infrastructure, agro-processing, where we are looking at mechanized production, and there's also the irrigation, where we're looking at one village, one dam. We're looking at value addition and agro-processing, products, crops in cashew, cotton, rice, cassava, coconut, and cocoa. And there's also the planting for food and jobs. The tourism sector as well, where we're looking so much at adventure tourism, theme parks, ecotourism, and then there's manufacturing, services, financial services, education and healthcare, and then there's the property development. If there are more questions, since I think we are looking at time, if there are more questions, I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Eugenia. So also just thank you for being with us on Founders Day. We know that it's actually technically a day off for all the Ghanaians from the government who are with us. We appreciate it, and I'm really happy you said energy, because you know we'll talk. Sir, from the Office of the President, can you hear us and can we see you, Mr. Kojo?
Yeah, I mean, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kojo Frimpong. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this conversation. I'm really excited to be here. Ambassador Hananyaku, we met in 2018, just before you were posted, I think, at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I didn't have all this beard at the time, so forgive me if you can't immediately recollect who I am. And Your Excellency Shani Cooper, it's great to be here as well. Thank you very much. So just to piggyback on what Eugenia said, look, I am reaching you right now from Wenchi. Wenchi is in the western part, the western north end of Ghana, right? We live in the agricultural space. So when we say we need agriculture, 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 I'm the guy you should be speaking with. So I'm very happy to be here because I leave the space. And then I also work at the Office of the President at the Ministry of Business Development. Practically, I speak with investors every single day. So we work in tandem or in partnership with the Investment Promotion Center. They are our partners in this. And thank you, Eugenia, for such a brilliant presentation. Now, as Eugenia said, look, let me begin this with an anecdote. I know of an Israeli company. The guy was passing through Ghana to Sierra Leone. By happenstance, he got down at Kotoka International Airport and said, I think his plane delayed, so he needed to spend the night here. When he came into Accra, he realized that all the billboards and all the paraphernalia and all the advertising spaces advertising the major telecommunication companies in Ghana were of a certain type. He decided to bring in new technology, and the rest is history. This guy practically supplies 70% of all the paraphernalia, all the souvenirs for the big telcos in Ghana. What did he do after that? He went into real estate and bingo. He's made so much money. I think he spends his time part in Israel, the other part in Accra. Now I speak to investors every day who come in and say, what can I get? What can I do? In Ghanaian parlance, we like the philosophy of the family. We like people to come and think of us as being part of the family. We like long-term investments. We don't want a short run where somebody comes in looking for a quick fix. No. Investors usually want everything to be right before they move. In Ghana, we like you to be part of the formation process towards being right, so you become the most advantaged person in the conversation. Now, for 2 minutes, I'm going to talk about.
I have to tell you, many African countries don't have that perspective, and I want to bless you for that approach.
Thank you. And right now, VW just got into our country, Volkswagen, right? They are manufacturing cars in Ghana for the West African market. They have said to themselves that excluding Nigeria, which is the big deal in Africa, there are 151 million people in the rest of West Africa. They are going to target that group. General Electric is in Ghana. Google built an AI lab in Ghana. If there's one place which is happening on the continent of Africa, 6.8% GDP growth year on year from 2017, pre-COVID, this country is called Ghana.
All right, Kojo, look, I think you're making a great case here.
In 2018, yeah, just 1 second. In 2018, we outcompeted and outfoxed Nigeria to foreign direct investment.
Wow.
And Eugenia and the people at GIPC were instrumental in that.
Yeah.
This country attracted the most foreign investment in Africa in 2018.
That is something.
Mr. Kojo, we have a lot of follow-up questions for you.
Yeah,
Could you share your email with us?
Yes, I will share in a little bit. I
have one question, but we got to introduce the other people, because your energy is contagious, and between the.
I just lost my political primaries by 20 votes, so I'm mourning.
Well, you just had the Eid also, so I hope you've been celebrating also.
Well, I'm not Muslim. Actually, it's because a lot of my people are Muslim, and I'm a bit unkempt, so I decided to cover the hair and then just keep the beard. I'm not Muslim at all. Most of the people in my constituency are Muslims. Yes, I'm not Muslim. So shalom.
Shalom. I do want a point of privilege for both Kojo and Eugenia. Would you be open to a government-to-government, a G2G with the state of Israel in some of these places? Because sometimes it is hard for those of us who are far away and maybe had a previous experience that was a little bit difficult. Is there an opportunity for a G2G through the Office of the President?
I think Her Excellencies Ambassador Nyako and Ambassador Shani Cooper are the best placed people to make sure this G2G happens. Because I think, and I'll be honest with you, I think Ghana is reevaluating the relationship with some countries, and Israel is one of them. Yeah. I don't think that our relationship with Israel must be on a diplomatic level. I think it must be on an aggressive level to get know-how capital, to get show-how capital. That's why I'm excited about the students going to Israel. I think that we need to be aggressive in getting Israeli investments in agriculture. And so I think, yes, a G2G is the best place to have this conversation. And I will be very happy to facilitate that.
Great. Eugenia, do you ever want to weigh in, and then we'll turn to our next guest? Is that possible?
Yes, so there are also the BITs, but I will check what we have with Israel, and then that can support a G2G as well.
Okay, because then we'd consider an energy investment. So look, it all began with Golda Meir, and
we've something. Sorry, I know that we don't have time, but we have an agreement, a trade and economic agreement between Israel and Ghana that was signed in 1968, and it's not really updated, and Ghana of 68 is not Ghana of 2020, but it is, and it is a good infrastructure, and we are working currently. We have negotiations on double taxation avoidance. So the legal infrastructure is there, and we can definitely do it by
Okay,
G2G.
wonderful. All right. It all
Yeah, yeah. But
Listen,
Shani
let us say
is
this.
right. We have the framework, and and we believe that there's more that the two countries can do to really make the agreements active. And she talked about the agreement for the avoidance of double taxation. The negotiations are still ongoing, and we believe that when it's concluded, it's going to bring another perspective to our bilateral trade relations.
Okay, wonderful. We're going to move forward. Professor Rivka Lazovsky, it all began with Golda Meir, a pioneering foreign minister and the first prime minister, female prime minister elected, I think, worldwide, or one of the top ones. Give us a little bit of perspective about women's empowerment, Israel, Ghana, Africa, the world head of WIDSO, and a board member of SID Israel. Are you here?
I am here. And shall I start? Hello? Shalom? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
First of all, I have the great pleasure and honor to meet Ambassador Hanan Yarko and Shani Cooper-Zubia. I am so proud to see two women ambassadors and so bright. So I want to tell you both, especially Mrs. Nyarka, who are from Ghana, that here the women in Israel, towards the creation of the State of Israel, and after the creation, we are very, very active in advancing the status of women in Israel and the empowerment of women. We have not yet reached all our goals, but we will do with the cooperation of everybody. I will try to do the impossible and to share with you in the short time 4 areas of work as a mode of example. But I already put myself at your service, Mrs. Ambassador, in Ghana, in Israel, wherever I will cooperate and will share with you everything, because I see it as a mission to share our knowledge. So what are the 4 areas that I want to bring? First of all, lobbying and legislation. Immediately after the creation of the State of Israel, it was a woman in the Knesset, in the Israeli parliament, Dr. Rachel Hagan. She signed the Declaration of Independence together with Golda Meir, the 2 women. She was a representative of WIDSO party. It doesn't exist now. And she passed the law of equality of rights for women and men in Israel, a very short time after the creation of the state. Another area which is very, very important is that we have legal bureau advice all over Israel, dozens of them with volunteers, lawyers, social workers, psychologists, in legal and family matters. And it's not so easy, because you see, even if you have a person, a woman who is in a very good position, but she is ashamed, so she must find a place in Israel where she can talk freely and receive the best advice. Another area which is very, very important is leadership for young women and for women. And the courses we have in Israel are among the best in the world. In my role of chairperson, I have been sharing for the last 8 years with 32 countries our knowledge, our experience in empowerment of women, in creating equal opportunities in the workplace, in the family, in the society, in pushing, empowering women to reach key positions in the government, in the Knesset, in all the public and private sectors, and to try to break all the glass ceilings. No glass ceilings in Israel. We are trying, we didn't achieve it yet. But maybe one of the areas I want to emphasize is the struggle against violence in Israel and all over the world. It's really a mission, a sacred mission to combat domestic violence in our society and all over the world. And we all cooperate and share with the world. Again, I am here at your service. Domestic violence is terrible, and WITSO is quite a pioneer in combating domestic violence. We operate services all over Israel, which include prevention, treatment, and shaping public debate on domestic violence. We in Israel do prevention, first of all, starting from birth, education, from birth in daycare centers, in schools, in the army, in the police. And you cannot imagine how much.
Everyone's wondering, sorry to interrupt, 32
Yes.
countries, but are any of them in Africa? And does that yet include Ghana?
I traveled, and this is my next proposition. I traveled where I was invited. I was invited by 30. I will be invited. I will share. I have a lot of knowledge and experience. And we in Israel see it as part of the relationships between Ghana and Israel. And every country who is friendly will be friended with Israel. As I say, we the women create the raise and educate the innovators of the innovation nation.
Yes.
And Israel is the innovation nation.
Thank you. I'm sure we can arrange an invitation when COVID.
Can I only finish with a short quote, if you agree? I know we're short of time, but if you agree, because I think it's important. Simone Weil, she was the first woman president of the European Parliament, once said, I was used to men who said that their wives admire me for my efforts. It said to me that it was their wives who appreciated my work and not the men I met. Why? Because the men did not see these laws are something they benefited from as well. We in Israel share Simone Weil's view that equality benefits both men and women. We believe that to be liberated, a woman must feel free to be herself, not in rivalry to men, but in the context of her own capacity and personality. Because equality will be reached, and this is my Bible, only when women's rights pass from being a women's issue to being an issue of the entire society.
Amen. Thank you. As a father of 3 girls and 2 boys, I want to try to make sure that my daughter, who volunteered in Ghana, will have a chance. Thank you so much. Before we hear from Hillel, we do want to invite Dr. Ori and Dr. Brita in this time of, worried about public health and people's health. You have a wonderful project. We'd love to hear just some 2 or 3 short minutes about your relationship and what you're doing. Rivka Mamash Toda. Are the 2 doctors here? If not,
Hi, we are here. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Good afternoon.
Hi. Hello.
How would you like?
So, Mitzi.
Surprise to you.
It's a pleasure.
If we can just do the screen sharing, we would like to share with you something. First of all, we introduce ourselves maybe. My husband is Ori, an Israeli psychiatrist, and me, I'm an Israeli-German pediatric surgeon. And we have a very long-standing and very special relationship with Ghana. We would like to, can we share the screen now? Is that possible somehow?
It's open to share.
It's open to share, thank you. Good, great.
Yeah. Is it okay now?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know Ghana for something like 28 years. And this is when Ori came first to Ghana in 1991. He was a young doctor. And he came to a hospital in the missionary hospital in the Western region, treated thousands of children and adults with general diseases, malaria, tuberculosis, and fell in love with his country and especially with his people. And when he came back for some days in the weekend to visit the capital Accra, he met me, a young German medical student. And this is a picture already when we started working in several missionary hospitals. About 16 years we moved from missionary hospital to missionary hospital, especially in the Western region, but also in the Ashanti region. This was our first child, Amarel. She's now studying medicine already. And during that time, when we were so much involved in the remote areas problems, we found out that basic medical care, but specialist care, also infectiology, surgery, psychiatry, we lost a lot of patients due to this loss, this lack of professionals. So we started already then in 2000, a mobile clinic in the remote and peripheral areas. In 2007, we came back after we finished our specializations in Israel, and we opened our first mobile clinic, an official mobile clinic, together with St. Patrick's Hospital in the Ashanti region. This is one of the ways to our health posts. We have 10 health posts in the Ashanti region in the dry season, the wonderful rainforest. And this is a picture from the rainy season, when mostly we are busy with also getting out our mobile clinic of the month together with our team. We work in health posts that are very remote. And this is not by incident, this is by intention, because there the need is most. We work with, we take chairs from the schools or from churches nearby a water source, and we treat the patients. We are exclusively working in the Ashanti region currently, but there are more plans, of course. The Ashanti region you can see there in the central region of Ghana, with the regional capital of Kumasi. Our work is currently just in the Ashanti region from our hospital, St. Patrick's. It's a theater where I'm operating with our team, with our colleagues. We're going to 10 health posts in the peripheral region. With a catchment area currently of 1.1 million people in 9 districts. We work, and this is maybe also the beauty of it, we exclusively work together with local professionals. We work within local communities, specialists, existing health posts, central villages, and remote areas. We work exclusively also with the traditional authorities, which means we all the time get first the permission and then start working. We go first to the community elders and ask permission. This is Papa Isa, our oldest one. And we respect and of course cooperate with religious leaders, which gives a very interesting view to our medical religious work. The field work we do is in the villages, of course, what we can see here with wound dressings, we wound burns, emergencies, but also in theater, that we're taking the kids and the adults to the theater, where we operate them acute or elective cases. The mobile clinic attendance is giving us the right to say, yes, it's a success, because we are having more and more people from year to year. Our basic motto is actually networking, and this is how everyone needs to survive. 2/3 of our work is in the local area, tertiary hospitals and with pediatric surgery in Ghana, or also psychiatry in Ghana, but 1/3 is also that we consult people abroad, of course. We established in 2016 a new cooperation with the Catholic Church. The Hope Exchange Medical Center was born, and this is a specialist center where we can bring our patients from the periphery and they're treated there.
You do have to finish up. I feel bad. And do you raise money if you need donations to be able to expand your work? And can you put your information in the chat?
Yes, we do. Okay. We have our plan is actually, if we continue now this, we want to establish 2 more mobile clinics that they're already in the oven. And we will do that the moment Ghana is opening its gates also for people to work there from Israel. And this will definitely happen in 2020, 2021. And of course, we want also to expand into the northern region. We have a lot of good cooperation already there. So yes, this is what we do.
Thank you so much. What just a giving of yourselves and of your expertise, and I'm sure there's other opportunities for other doctors to come and join you on those. So when my daughter Hallel was 17 years old, we exiled her, I'm just kidding, to Ghana. Hallel, are you on? And can you say what you were doing and what it was like going as a Jewish volunteer?
Hey, Ava. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi.
Wait, what's your Ghanaian name? You have a Ghanaian name, right?
Essie.
Essie.
It was explained to me.
Born on Sunday.
Born on a Sunday, Essie.
So I was Essie for 2 months. I went with the American Jewish World Service to Sankor, Winneba, where we worked at a nonprofit, volunteered at a nonprofit called Challenging Heights. By the way, Ava, I watch almost every week, and it's always educational. It's always amazing, and I love watching every week. So thank you all so much for having me.
So what do you do at Challenging Heights, and what was it like?
It was definitely a shock to get used to, you know, coming from Jerusalem then. But the people were incredible. The land is beautiful. I'm overall very thankful for the time I had in Winneba, and I've been nagging him about solar ever since.
I'm trying, but
about 8 years.
I think Eugenia and Kojo may help us now do the investment.
Good.
I did try. You know I tried.
I know you did. I pestered enough.
Yeah.
So Challenging Heights is a nonprofit that AGWS was then working with, and they would essentially rescue children from trafficking or slavery, mostly in the fishing industry, rehabilitate them, and then educate them. So I was in the school, and we would spend the days building dorms or hanging out with the kids or singing or playing, and it was a hell of an experience. So thank you for exiling me when I was 17, Alva.
We're very, very proud of you. But can you explain to people, this is our Challah cover that we use every Shabbat. So say something about it.
So we spent a weekend with a family from the Jewish community in Ghana, which is a very, very tiny community. I didn't know we were there, which is an amazing surprise. And they brought us these handcrafted gifts, and we use it every Friday, and it's really, really, really special to me.
That's awesome.
I don't want to take more time. I know that this is running on the edge. It was an honor to be here, so thank you.
Thank you for joining and being the inspiration, our family's connection to Ghana. Janet, do you want to just pick one question, which I know is really unfair, but I know there's so much in the chat. And then we'll ask the two ambassadors to close, and then we have a music video for everybody. So Janet, do you want to?
Sure. So I'm going to ask one question, but of course it'll have two parts, if I can sneak in two questions. One has to do with solar energy building and whether there are regulations in place for the using solar panels to build entire energy. And the other one is related in terms of infrastructure. What type of infrastructure specifically is of interest?
Well, I'll answer the solar one. There was a question where the power purchase agreement was for too short of a period, and they didn't change that law. But there were other issues. They found natural gas, just like we did here in Israel, and that slowed the advancement. But you need a champion in government to be able to do so. We had the deal for the Bui power station next to a hydro station. The idea was we were going to make Ghana really the darling of Africa, because we're going to say, use the water only at night, like build it up in the reservoir, and then during, like a battery. And then we were going to do the solar during the day. I'm happy to revisit that now that I've heard so many wonderful things. They say they want it, and if the two ambassadors are willing to talk to some of the people in the government, we would revisit that. Do any of the representatives of the government want to add something?
Yeah, well, I would like to have Mr. Frimpong talk about that, but there's a large market for solar energy in Ghana for use domestic and for business. for communities, for households. And so I think it's a place that you would find a great deal of investment. You mentioned initially B2G. I think that you could also explore B2B because there are very many opportunities in that at that level also. But I'll let Mr. Frimpong talk about the possibility of a B2G.
Well, so maybe Eugenia, maybe I have to hand it over to Eugenia, but just a few observations. I mean, thank you, Halil, for being the link between us and Joseph. Thank you. As a father of 3 daughters myself, I hope one day you become a role model for my girls. So thank you very much. Maybe I have enough business acumen like Joseph in the future also to invest somewhere else. But I mean, I'm 25 minutes from Bui right now. My constituency is 25 minutes from Bui. I'm going to go there. On Saturday. I'll find out what conversations Joseph Abramovich. So you can tell me how far you went. But there was a very, very particular consideration with solar in Ghana. So when we started off, we're very interested in solar because the natural sun gives us so much energy, right? And we have it in abundance.
Yeah.
And then we realized that the technology at the time, especially the startup capital or the push capital, the investment capital, was so high. And then when we opened it up, we realized that the prices per kilowatt could come down. And if it was more expensive than fossil fuels, then it would not make sense, right? So we got to a point where the government decided that they were going to sell, I think, 1 kilowatt per hour was going to be under 50 cents or under 5 cents, sorry, under 5 cents, under 5 or 7 cents. I don't quite remember the conversation. This was about 2 years ago. And then a lot of the companies who had come seeking 12 cents, 11 cents per kilowatt hour pulled out. So I don't know what the bottleneck was, but generally there's renewed energy around this conversation, so we can always explore and then see what could come out of it.
So I would love to talk about this the next hour because it's my core business, but I'll renew my investment commitment if you guys can open the doors.
And I'm really grateful to sit for this. I'm really grateful to sit for this conversation because it's not just solar and water, right? There's also water from for irrigation purposes in agriculture. So we're thinking of all these conversations, and it'll be interesting to find out where we can take this. Thank you very much, Joseph. I will perhaps do the B2G with Eugenia, so that we can also have a voice.
Yeah, we have to finish up. But Eugenia, please put your contact info and Janet, thanks for the setup. I will renew publicly our $100 million commitment should you sign a bankable power purchase agreement so we can do the power plant at Bui.
We'll look into it.
But let's see. Now I'm on the hook. So just the 2 ambassadors, if you want to do any closing words before our final music video. Oh wait, first of all, let's all thank Maria because she's unbelievable. Our producing host, she's been great. You have no idea all the, she makes us all look good and make sure that this happens. So I want to, apologies to Gabi Ashkenazi maybe next time, but Ambassador Hannah, any closing words?
Okay, thank you. Let me first of all acknowledge Ori and Britta Schwartzman of Jinyami Mobile Clinic. They're doing a wonderful job in Ghana, supporting government health service delivery. And by the way, we make an effort to raise funds to assist them. So I will be contacting all of you on this platform to support them. But I would want to say that the video we have seen, the presentations we've had, give just a tip of what you will find in Ghana. And I'd want to invite all of you post-COVID to visit, to engage with the embassy here in Israel, the Israeli embassy in Ghana, Mr. Kojo Frimpong, to really find in which areas you can find something to invest. The Ghanaian people are very friendly, as has been mentioned. We have a very well-educated force, a very large youth population. And so you wouldn't find any shortage of staff or hands to help you in your business. We are not doing too bad in terms of management of COVID. His Excellency the President Nana Akufo-Addo has taken a great deal of effort and has instituted measures to keep the spread of COVID very much under control. Our borders and international airports are still closed. We hope that they would open very soon. Closed because it's part of government measures to control the spread of COVID-19 in the country. But when the borders open, we'll be happy to have all of you, plus your friends and associates visiting Ghana. And I assure you that you will find a very welcoming people and government officials, as well as a very vibrant private sector willing to work with you. We have a number of Israeli businesses in Ghana who are doing very well. Ambassador Shani will attest to that. So you have your work cut out for you. You have people who will share with you their experiences. So we'll be happy to see all of you visiting Ghana in the coming months. Thank you.
Thank you. And on Founders Day, Ambassador Shani, any closing words?
Yes, I will just say that when I arrived here to Ghana, I realized that the good connection between Israel and Ghana is not only because of the investments that the government of Israel did in the beginning of the way or the Mashav activity. I realized that the connection is almost spiritual between Ghanaians and Israelis, and I would like to invite you all to come and experience this and understand how strong is the relation and enjoy your time here. And thank you very, very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. And thank you for all the speakers, especially my daughter. And with that, we'll end with, as we always do, with a musical video. And keep looking at the Facebook for the next episode of Africa Shine On. I'm Yossi Abramowitz for our partnership and the team in Energia Global. Shine On, and Maria, hit it.
Malago ya de, oh, Malago ya de papa, Malago ya do, Wambra, wambian so, Mondo fangbe, kefye kai mo se biye, Ona, Oshia, Look from far away, Kaku went down. La 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 la, la 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 la. Look from far away, Kaku went down. Anonya son yo yenga yo fangbe no fe kutamo, buku kutamo bloko yo. La la la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Look from far away, Kaku went down. Woman, Frabi, one man, Gucci Sala, one man, one year, what she go. One man, I be Adam, Probo Fantashante, Sima Bono Biu, one man, one year, what she go. Malago ya de, oh, Malago ya de, papa, Malago ya de. Jole chalolo, oni wajo. Akumata, mi ekumata, keji okole no yuwalaton. Akumata, mi ekumasoni, keji okole no yuwalaton. Mene kejole mi kla, keji okole no yuwalaton. Mene kejole. Kabo enye fia bo, me no kole mi bra. Kajme me ne kine pe ewong, chiko kone wapuna chele kusha. Kenyo ta o mi ubanyo ya e, no la ke jele mi le chakio, lue wo manta o, mi eko mata, Keji okole mi oyuwala don. Ako shio hini madashi. Keji okole mi oyuwala don. Malogo yede. Oh. Malogo yede papa. Malogo yede. Oh, injole chalolo. Oni wajo. Ansa wolo ni bio. Ansa wolo ni bio. Mami ala tapa braminto bio. Ansa wolo. Mami ala tapa braminto bio. Ansa wolo. Ebosa. Obada bena wa mamitie. Ebosa. Obada bena wa mamitie. Malogo yende. Malogo yende papepi. Malogo yende. Oh, njale chalolo. Oni wajo.